Hi guys, welcome to Robin Hood Diaries, as usual, every night. uh, okay, I'm going to try and keep this. I know my shows are too long, I really do, but the topics just go everywhere, so I'm going to try and nail it down tonight as best I could. This is about Valley Girl behind the scenes. Now, I can narrow it down to my work on Valley Girl and sort of what went on around my work on Valley Girl. Which was a lot. So here we go. I was just turning 17 when Valley Girl was shot. I had my license. I was hired by Martha Coolidge. I was credited on the film as the consultant for the wardrobe costumes. And I knew her through my friend and mentor of 28 years, who I don't get into. Her name was Delia, and she was close because she was in the industry, working in the industry as a production designer. Knew Martha Coolidge from way back. Martha Coolidge has great pedigree in film. She was a very intense, successful documentarian before she even entered the industry. One of her first, of course, big films was Valley Girl, and she went on to great success. Very diverse. Look at Valley Girl and then look at a movie that she did called Ramblin' Rose. You will see her diversity. So I knew Martha. Also, my reputation kind of preceded me because I was like a little bit well known in Hollywood for being. We've gone into that. So had all that going for me. Plus, I had worked as indentured servant to my mother, who, like I said, headed up Saks Fifth Avenue for 10 years, worked as a stylist, immensely successful stylist, and I was her lackey. So I learned a lot of that, worked as a production assistant, etc., etc. So I was used to being on a set all over the place, and particularly with wardrobe, like way particularly. Now, this reputation that preceded me had a lot to do with kind of my style, among other things, but definitely my style for 1982, 81, 83. It was pretty progressive, if you want to call it that. So I'm brought on. So the budget for this thing was unimaginable. It was so low you wouldn't believe it. If I told you the budget for the production design, you would faint. So it begins with auditions. So I'm in on the callbacks, such as they were. And I think we saw two girls and one guy. And then Nicholas came. Nicholas's reputation quite significantly preceded himself. He is the nephew of Francis Ford Coppola, and he was known as that, first name Nicholas. He had only done one significant film, which was called Rumblefish. Fairly well-known film, Mickey Rourke's debut film, and Matt Dillon, all done in black and white except for little pieces in color. Very interesting film. So this is what Nick had done. So Nick's pedigree also preceded him. I would just want to say during his callback there was much excitement about his pedigree. He had just maybe changed his name to Cage. I don't even know if he came in on the audition with that name yet. But like I said, his reputation, such as it was, from whence it was, preceded him. And there was much excitement about him starring in the film. We'll leave it at that. So everyone else was cast. Heidi Holliker, an actress who steals the film as the Valley Girl because it's called Valley Girl, and she nailed Valley Girl. We're fairly good friends. She's now a very successful producer and also, what can I say, mover and shaker on the internet, having to do with film. And excuse me, my nose is like I've got little threads in it. She's on board. Several other actresses are on board. They're basically unknown actresses. I'm sorry, E.G. Daily. She was or became shortly thereafter E.G. Daily, who was a very successful pop singer. And then she became, or was before, I don't know, in voiceover work. You know her from the Rugrats and so forth. all unknowns. So, okay, my first assignment was to present to Martha the designs for the leads. I didn't do any of the extras. I inspired what was my theme, but I didn't, dress like, the waitress or whatever. So I hired at my own expense a fairly well-known fashion sketch artist, last name Nieto. I won't name him. And he did for me very professional fashion sketches for all of the leads. So I present those to Martha. Everyone loves them. She loves them. Okay, so my next assignment or dual assignment, in addition to starting the film wardrobe wise, is to turn Nick Cage, into Hollywood. I'm not kidding you, Nick. If you don't remember this, I'm so sorry, but whatever. To make him Hollywood. Okay, so make him Hollywood. So I proceed to give him my entire wardrobe. Some of which I did not get back. And I also talked with him a great deal, and I also gave him my full collection of post punk, what would be considered alternative classic LPs to listen to get into the scene at that moment. So I never got those back. Oh well. I never got my wardrobe back. Oh well. But the Hollywood characters were much less a concern for me because everything that Cameron Dye wears, everything that Nick wears, everything on the Hollywood end was all my wardrobe. And it was also another consultant's wardrobe who was my girlfriend in high school. We'll get into that. So I was responsible for all that, but I was less concerned about that because I was pulling all that out of my damn closet. So the girls were another concern. So I presented the sketches, and now I'm trying to make Nick Cage Hollywood, and I'm also having to do fittings with the girls who were more challenging because I couldn't just tear those out of a closet. I had to throw in stuff from my closet, my mother's closet, their closet, and so it was this gaggle of a fitting. Initial fitting, well, the only fitting, and all I don't want to say girls, but Valley girls were there, and much fracas about who's wearing what and how does it look and how does it correspond with the other girls, and you also have to know the production design so you're not clashing the clothing with the walls, and I was close with the production designer, so the girls are everywhere chattering in Valley Girl language. Now, my stomping ground was Hollywood and Santa Monica. So I knew Valley Girl, but I didn't know Valley Girls. So with the help of beloved Heidi Holliker, who nailed Valley Girl, I think the other gals were able to kind of get the drift. Heidi Holliker basically taught them how to do a Valley Girl accent. Watch the film. She's dead on the friggin' money. Anyway, hi Heidi. So then there's all that, like fabulous mall scenes, like Deborah Foreman wears this fabulous T-shirt with all lips all over it. My mother wore that T-shirt all through the mid to late 70s. Anyway, so the Hollywood thing it's centered around the Plimsolls performance at what became the Viper Room, right there in that place. It was called Filthy McNasty's in the 70s. Never survived. Always stayed there. I mean, survived. Okay, so I'm just going to call it the Viper Room because whatever, it wasn't the Viper Room, whatever. God, I wish I could remember what it was called. Anyway, so it's the big Hollywood scene. Of course, I'm all over that shit because it's Hollywood and it's like, good Christ, this is all being done in one day/night. And then I've got the girls coming in as Valley Girls, and then I have to do the whole Hollywood scene there with the Plimsolls performing and everybody. So yes, Janet Cunningham, I know you are a famous agent for extras of the alternative variety, and I know that you got a few extras that were unusual, one of which I know, Tequila Mockingbird. Hi, you don't remember me from the Cash Club when I was 14. Nothing happened. Shouldn't have been there at 3 in the morning, but anyway, Janet Cunningham, that was her loft, then she became a successful extra agent for alternative whatever. party, whatever. So yes, they came with their own wardrobe, but that, honey, I mean, please, I was supposed to have a packed club, and I walk in and there's like a handful of extras, all in their all same outfits. And so I have to create a packed club. So first of all, then triple wise, I'm pulling in people that I know, like Ramon Estevez, Martin Sheen's son, and then he comes with two people, and then two people from my elementary school. I mean, and I'm pulling people in, and I'm trying to do the movie. So, like the bar, Janet's people, like, with the pour the beer over the head, whatever. But everything else is mine. So I've got this handful of extras that I have to like triple, so it looks like, whatever. And I have Ramon, like, shoving their table, and luckily he had full leather and spiky blonde hair. He looked fabulous. And then his friend or two, and then my two friends from Ella friggin' elementary school, who I knew were like, hip and whatever now. So I'm pulling all these people in. And then, so I have these people, but they're all in the same outfits from like, you can't have people like rolling around the same outfits making it look like a crowd. People have to be in different outfits because they're different people, right? Different shots. Deborah Foreman, Nick Cage, Heidi Holliker, Cameron Dye, from all different angles in what became the Viper Room. So now I'm running out of clothes. I mean, my Fiat only fits so many freaking clothes, and this is a predicament. So so everything is out. Everything is out. Everything I have, everyone brings whatever they can, but it's still not enough because I have this handful of extras. So at this point, you guys, I have nothing to do but go into the dressing room for the plimsolls and start raiding their closet without them knowing. And so I'm going in there, and I think I put like 3 dress shirts, a belt, a scarf, and some rock t-shirts, you guys. And so I'm upstairs then, and then I'm changing the hair, like, the hair was down, I have to put the hair up, higher heels, she looks taller, then throw the rock shirt on her and put a belt. And then the other girl, I had to take her out of the dress, put a dress shirt on her, and, all of that. Like, and I'm running around doing that, and they're filming the plimsolls, and all these different, same people are being different people. Oh my God, that went all night. So then it's back to the close-ups, of them, and then there's more Hollywood stuff, whatever. One thing, people, he comes back to that bar later on, all dejected from Valley, Romeo and Juliet, whatever. He's wearing a sharkskin suit. That is not my sharkskin suit. I had nothing to do with that sharkskin suit. Y'all may like it. I don't. And I discredit myself from that gray, shiny sharkskin suit. Everything else is mine. Okay, so then whatever, they fall in love, and Hollywood Valley, and my concept for the Valley Boys, at the party, like at the party scene, was Easter bunnies. I wanted such a contrast from the Hollywood thing that in my head I had a color scheme of Easter, because I want to look like Easter bunnies, like, totally different. So I'm going for like pale neon, if that's such a thing as possible, and like Lacoste shirts with the collars popping up, and different pink and yellow and whatever. So that was my thing for the Valley guys. The Valley girls were taken care of. Extensive fittings, Heidi Holliker making it fly, with or without wardrobe, and then the whole Hollywood scene. So, oh my God, there's more attached to that, and I don't want to dive in any more than I have. But that that was the takeaway of the whole behind the scenes look of Valley Girl. I don't try not to blow my own horn, but I can take significant credit for what is the Valley Girl look, because I did the wardrobe for Valley Girl, and it was released in '83. And then there was the Moon Unit, Zappa, wasn't that her name? Came out with the song and everything. So then now it's a classic. They did a remake. I think it was a musical. Anyway, so that's my Valley Girl story. Oh my God, I'm over 10 minutes. I'm so sorry. I love you for being with me, putting up with my time frame and sharing with me and putting up with me, and I adore you, and you know that. And there's Mama Girl shaking her collar, so it's time for me to take her out of the room. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.